The best way to understand the Bene Gesserits in the world of Dune is to think of them as a secret faction of heretics. They're a closed organization of aristocratic women who operate under an interpretation of human history and destiny that contradicts the orthodoxy of the Imperium. And a lot of their heresy has to do with the so-called Orange Catholic Bible, which was codified after the Butlerian Jihad 10,000 years before the events of Dune. The purpose of this ancient jihad was to cleanse the known universe of computers and AI that had been used to enslave humanity. And when the crusade was complete, a new doctrine to govern the destiny of humankind was compiled into a sacred text called the Orange Catholic Bible. And one of the most important commandments of this Bible concerned the computing machines that the Butlerians had just destroyed. It said, "Thou shalt not make a machine in the likeness of a man's mind," or in other words, a computing machine that can process and execute language and logic. Humanity must never return to its era of enslavement under computers. It must lead its life among the stars under the strength of its own mental faculties without even the help of a calculator. Or such at least was the commandment of the post-Butlerian orthodoxy. And it was in this milieu that the Bene Gesserits were formed to organize around a secret heresy. There was a way in which the Bene Gesserits actually wanted to return to this ancient era of slavery that had been cleansed by the Butlerian Jihad. Only they sought to create a form of slavery that they deemed superior, because it would involve a new kind of master. The old slavery used supercomputers to outthink and overpower humanity, but the Bene Gesserits, by contrast, wanted to create a superhuman who can essentially do the exact same thing. And the title that they gave to the idea of the superhuman was the Kwisatz Haderach. And the Bene Gesserits have a really disturbing ideology that they use to justify this new era of slavery under the Kwisatz Haderach. This ideology states that the species that we call humanity isn't really human at all. The average member of the species Homo sapiens is really just a mere animal, more akin to a cow than a human being. And only a select few members of this species will ever rise above their animal existence and achieve superior mental faculties that elevate them to a higher kind of life. And these superior beings alone are the true humans according to the Bene Gesserit heresy. And as a matter of fact, these true humans could only ever have been born in the aftermath of the Butlerian Jihad, when Homo sapiens all at once abandoned its reliance on computing machines. Because humanity by this time was already a technologically advanced spacefaring species, and the typical person simply does not and never will have the mental strength necessary to perform the variety of calculations required to make this civilization function, to navigate interplanetary space travel, or to make estimations for political decisions that will ramify across billions and billions of people and thousands of years. But certain factions of humanity set out to solve this new civilizational problem. They sought to create a new kind of human that could rise to the task of replacing the machines. They used a combination of special breeding techniques and certain mind-altering substances, which could expand and enhance the mind, and create such creatures as the mentats, whose incredible superhuman powers of prediction could provide political counsel, or the navigators of the Spacing Guild, who used a superior grasp of mathematics to travel the reaches of space. And it was precisely this new idea of the superior human that also planted the seed of the Bene Gesserit heresy. The Bene Gesserits decided that this new kind of human with expanded mental faculties is really the only creature worth describing as a human at all, and they felt that an ultimate human deserved to rule over the rest of the species, which was by comparison a host of mere animals. And so they devoted themselves to a secret project lasting thousands of years, in which they attempted to breed the ultimate human over the course of countless generations, the so-called Kwisatz Haderach, whose mind was so profoundly powerful that he could rise up and rule the humans in the way that computers once did in the ancient era before the Butlerian Jihad. The Bene Gesserits effectively wanted to return to a forbidden era, for they believed that the ancient computers were only ever like a dim promise of ultimate human potential, of the Kwisatz Haderach, and they hoped to realize that promise with a new beginning of human history.